Monday morning to you, everybody. Welcome to a special edition of AnglerChannel.com Video 2016. It is Monday, the 1st of February. Pro staffer Robbie Dye is with us up here in Denver, North Carolina. And Robbie, in my opinion, hey, we've had some tournaments to kick off 2016, but this week feels like the real deal. You know, we got an FLW Tour event going on down on Okeechobee, which starts, I guess, Wednesday or Thursday. And then we've got the Rattle Trap Open on Guntersville this coming weekend. We got the CBC on Lake Wylie. But before we get to all that, you and your son won the Lake Norman Winter Trail Tournament this past weekend. Tell us about it.
Yeah, me and my son went out there this weekend, John, and we had a good bag of fish. You had fish over 7 pounds. Anytime you can do that on Lake Norman, it's a good day as far as that, any lake. But the fish are really biting here in North Carolina and Lake Norman, Lake Wylie. And we've been having a lot of cold weather and some warm days, and it's been fluctuating the water temperature a little bit. And if you can catch the weather right, you can catch some really nice fish. So I know this weekend is going to be a really good weekend, I think. But it looks like we're going to have a couple really warm days, and then the weather's going to turn back cold. So the water temperature plays a big deal this time of year.
All right, now we're going to get to that, but let's start down in Florida where the FLW Tour kicks off, and obviously Okeechobee, you went down there for the Costa Series a couple weeks back. Weights were okay, low 20s. I think almost 60 pounds won that tournament, somewhere in that genre. But you expect this week down there to be right.
Yeah, actually, the weights were way lower than that, John. I think the winning weight was 44 for 3 days. But, yeah, when I was there, the fish had really not pulled up out of the lake yet. The fish were holding really tight to cover. We had a lot of cold weather. They have a warming trend coming. They're behind the full moon. There's going to be a lot of fish that have pulled up, and they're going to be, up on the flats. And it's just amazing at the amount of grass they got down there this year. So those guys are going to just crush them. I think you're going to see some unbelievable weights and a lot of them.
What do you think the average per day is going to be?
I think, a lot of people think Okeechobee, a lot of times it takes average weight's more, but 12 to 13 pounds a day is actually a pretty good weight down there if you can duplicate it for a couple of days. But I think this time of year, probably 14 to 15, because I think these guys are really going to hit it just perfect. Like I say, the fish have really been holding back because of all this cold weather. They're going to have a big push, 14 to 15 a day to get a check.
All right, let's switch up to another pretty good fishery, Guntersville. We got the Rattle Trap Open going on up there. Our new member of the team, Chris Brown, lives on Guntersville. He's going to cover that event. But what do you look for out of one of the hottest fisheries in the country the last couple of years?
Oh, that place is unbelievable. I was there last spring, John, and that place has got so many big fish that it's unbelievable. 20, 25 pounds is the norm.
Yeah.
So it's hard to predict Lake Guntersville. It's got so many big fish, but 30 pounds is not out of the question.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. All right, now we're going to switch gears and talk about the CBC, first event of the year on Lake Wylie this weekend. Very, very successful team trail, as many of you know. I expect close to a full field. $8,000, I believe, is guaranteed first place. But Wylie's not fishing great right now, Robbie. I think it's going to be a challenge for some guys.
It is. Going back to the water temperatures, John, they've shut down one of the coal stations down there, and it has dropped that lake temperature quite a bit throughout the lake, and we were seeing 42 to 44 degree water temperature all over the lake. It's hard to catch a bass when it's that cold, and the fish are sluggish, and I think you're going to see one or two really good weights, and then the weights are going to drop dramatically, and there's going to be a lot of guys that are bunched up around the 12 or 13 pound range.
Right. You were saying earlier, we got a couple 60-degree days this week, and then around Thursday, the cool front moves in, and I think the highs don't get above 52, 55 degrees. One thing about Wylie that always amazes me, though, we see these weather patterns. We see what looks to be a difficult scenario for somebody to go out and catch 15, 18 pounds. But you know what, Robbie? Somebody's going to do it.
Especially going to have 200 boats, I'm sure. You put that many boats on the water, and it's going to happen, and a lot of people say, well, this guy got lucky or that guy got lucky. You got to have a little luck, it's skill, luck, and knowledge, that's what it is. So 200 boats on the water, somebody might get, over 20, but I would be surprised. I think 19 to 20, I'd be surprised to see a bag over 20.
All right, and last question about Wylie, how shallow can you go right now with the water temps being what they are?
Well, most of the fish are pulled off the bank, John. There will be a few fish caught up on the bank, but the fish with this water temperature, they have a tendency to stay back in the creek channels, and I think it's going to be one offshore, probably an Alabama rig.
All right. Well, buddy, are you fishing it this weekend?
Yes, sir. Me and Chuck Camps are going to be down there.
All right. Well, we'll be down there as well. Folks, always good to see you. Kick off 2016 in a big way. Be safe on the water. We'll see you next week.